As an educated white woman living in a first world democracy, I had known great freedoms until cancer gatecrashed my ship-shaped life, the worsening diagnosis unfolding in excruciatingly precise freeze frames. First, you have a tumor in your lung, Mrs. Sabbage. The shock ricocheted through my body like a bullet while I retreated into a hazy optimism which refused to admit I'd been shot. I pictured my tumor being surgically removed, radiation making me more radiant, a brief bald period when I would wear a purple wig and flaunt a surprising sense of humor, followed by the resumption of my privileged life as if this were just another bridge to cross on the road to grandchildren and grey hair. I pretended not to hear the low rumblings of a storm blowing in. I locked my fear in a shiny urn of positive denial and left it there. Second, you have tumours in your lymph nodes, Mrs. Sabbage, which meant the cancer I had rejected was growing on me. It was systemic, incurable, a bridge I would not cross, a diagnosis I was assured I would not come back from, and a use-by date that preceded my daughter's 5th birthday. I sat in the brown leather chair across from his desk, stunned. Words fell from his mouth like icicles on a winter's day, while hope retreated into another room, dimming the lights, stopping the clock on the wall. He didn't notice I'd stopped listening, that my best friend was asking questions on my behalf, that remorse had lodged in my chest about the ways I abused my body in the past, about the grief this would bring my husband and the motherless life my daughter was going to live. I locked my fear in a casket of shame and left it there. Third, you have tumours on your spine, Mrs. Sabbage, and the one on your neck paralyse you. His words paralysed me, and my own words crouched in the corner of my throat as I stared at the scans on his computer screen. What could I say to make the tsunami turn around and drain back into the ocean? The shock went in deep this time, and the universe quietly imploded as the water of possibility closed over my head. I locked my fear in a morgue of despair and left it there. Finally, I am so sorry, Sophie, but you have brain tumours. How many? I asked, as my eyes broke like glass, and I found myself facing a fate worse than death, losing my mind, my wisdom, my eloquence, not being Sophie anymore. Too many to count, he said, with a tenderness that fear could not circumvent. His assistant kindly drove my trembling body home, it now being irresponsible for me to drive myself. It was a dark, very English afternoon when the night draws in before the day is done, and my husband had lit the wood burner in the living room for me, while he picked up our daughter from nursery. I sat next to it on the carpet, and I pulled fear very close. I gave myself to it completely, until it bent me double. I let it rattle my bones and catapult my dreams at the stars. The more I surrendered, the more space opened up inside me, and the more I realized that I hadn't locked fear up. Fear had locked me up. It had also locked out possibility and creativity and hope. By standing in its flames while flames licked the glass on the wood burner doors, it was fear that melted, not me. In this most restrictive circumstance of my life, I viscerally experienced freedom from fear as the greatest freedom of all. Fear tried to trap me and damn near killed me, but I escaped. In the 6 years since I was given 6 months to live, I've entered into fear and surrendered to it many times. Each encounter is no less intense than the last, but each exit expands my wings. You see, fear is not to be overcome, but welcomed. and given a place to thaw. I'm not free of cancer, but I am more free than I ever was before it gatecrashed my ship-shaped but not yet liberated life. Because only when we step through fear can we step out of it and know what it is to be free. Then repeat.